Hey, it's Cooper. We're here in Florida for a little bit, and my brother Jackson got the chance to make his own board monkey model by Gordzilla Surfboards. And this video is going to show how he did it step by step.
After we pick the blank, we need to fine sand it, or in other words, shape it, to get the rails right and ready for the next steps. We also have to smooth down the ridges that were made from the computer, which shapes it.
All the way up. All the way up, and then kind of wrap it around it so you can get that curve. You know what I mean? Like fold it over. There you go. Don't do it on the stringer. Do it on each side of the stringer, and then flip it and do it on the bottom.
I love that thing.
You need some crank there at home.
Oh, I thought from there I was
No, it's
confused.
so this is your back mark, and there's your front, and you want to put it just, see that where it's there and there?
To the right of it.
It's right on the mark. See that? So this is the left side. The right side, we're going to go to that side.
Okay.
Because the fins have the curve in them, and the back point would be right there.
That's cool. After that, we cut out the fin boxes with a router. For me, I use Futures, and I just got some vapor cores that I'm excited to put in this board.
And then the plan.
Do you eyeball it, or does it stay there? Like
It stays there.
Oh, okay.
That's exactly how you do it. And then if you wanted to, you can test fit it, but I know
do cursive. I thought it was really cool to be able to sign my name on the board, but it's a lot harder to write on foam than you'd think. One of the cool things about Gordzilla boards is that he works with you on basically any design that you can think of, and this is what I came up with for my new board.
might have a new painter.
I'm
Nice
not
Jack
sure.
on the airbrush gun.
The painting was one of my favorite parts about making the board. It was really cool to see the idea come to life on the board, and I think it turned out great.
I'm Gordon Lawson, Gordzilla, and I shaped the board monkey boards for Cooper and his friends from Jersey and some kids down here in Florida. And the progression nowadays of the Groms has gotten completely out of control, where the kids have skate parks, they're skating better than ever, they're surfing better than ever. So I'm really trying to collaborate with Cooper and make boards that kind of match that progression. And I think we've hit on something with Board Monkey here. And if people don't know what Board Monkey is, that's Cooper is AKA Board Monkey. And that's his Instagram post. That's how I knew him when I first met him. And I was really excited when his dad called me and was like, I want to get some boards for Coop. And I'm like, who, Board Monkey? So we got the label Board Monkey going. And our goal is to make you whippy performance boards kind of based off what Coop and I ride. And we like to do a lot of epoxy resins with EPS or polyfoam, and FCS or Futures, whatever fin system you like or what you already have in your possession, so you don't have to go get new fins.
Now it was time to put in the fin boxes after filling them with resin to lock them into place.
Squeezes out the front.
Yeah.
Push it from the back towards the front until it seats down. Try not to let it get in the screw hole. Yeah, feel it. See how it's popping through all those?
Yeah.
Now take your brush and pull down the excess. You can go over a little bit. I try to do it over in both sides so it doesn't peel.
Ask him what he did to his finger.
What'd you do?
He was whittling and he didn't use the whittling gloves, so he cut a chunk out of his finger.
Yeah.
But it's kind of karma because he didn't wear the whittling gloves.
We taped off the fin boxes so they don't get filled with resin. That would be no good because the fins wouldn't be able to go in.
I'm going to go right above it.
And how far up?
Pull it a little bit more your way. Just pull the whole thing, okay? Now lay it down. Kind of dead center on the stringer. Like look at it all the way and make sure that mark should be in the middle.
No, I cannot do that.
First I kind of just cut it around it and then I get it closer.
There's some legit scissors though.
Yeah, you have to go to like fabric stores to get these.
Use this to cut the glass.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And lay it right down on the board. Let it overhang about 1.5 inches. Okay. I'm gonna hold on to this and I'll just roll that cloth down to the tail.
Like this.
Yep, just pull it down if you want.
On the bottom of the board, we just used one layer of 4-ounce glass to keep it light and flexible.
We didn't move the carbon.
When cutting the glass, we left about 1.5 inches to 2 inches to wrap around the rails. Later, we'll wrap a top layer around the other way. That way the rails will be very strong.
The label will be completely wet underneath. Here, I'll give you one more just in case. Put a little bit on there. Okay, now grab the label and set it where you want it. You'll be able to move it a little bit, but once you squeegee it down, it's going to lock down. Try to get that corner to lay down a little bit. There it goes. Perfect. Inner part of the cloth so it doesn't move. Bring all that down here to the tail and then try to capture it if you run off to the end. Like go all the way or pour more if you need it. So you're not pulling all one side first, you know? I'm going to pull some of these strands out so it doesn't, you'll see what I'm doing, runs.
This was another fun step, pouring resin over the glass and then squeegeeing it over the entire board to make it smooth.
And you still look really wet back here.
Oh yeah. Another important step, soaking the overlapping glass with resin and wrapping it around the rails to make sure the whole board is covered and the rails are strong. After the resin hardened overnight, I came in the next day and sanded down the edges that were a little bit bumpy from where the resin dripped from the bottom of the board.
To have them lower than higher.
Where are you putting this one?
Wherever he wants.
We have it where we want
It's okay. I just lay it right to the tip of the nose. Let it come back until it's just even with the nose.
For the top, the board gets 2 layers of 4-ounce glass. That's one more layer than the bottom. The top needs to be stronger because that's the side you stand on.
You want to lock down the cloth is all you're doing, going nose to tail straight. Coop's in the shot. Wrap in your laps. The board monkey looks good on the blue.
Yeah, it does. Florida flag. That looks cool. A lot of here.
You gotta do like all the way strokes, like nose to tail, and just use what you have. It's good. And just go real long, like strokes all the way down and all the way back.
Just in the middle. After the glass was in place, we hot coated the board to give it a smooth finish, which we will later sand down in the final big step before I get to ride it.
So we're just gonna bump out the thickness of the tire. Leave the width the same. 120, and you don't have to push. All you're doing is sanding that tape off.
All right.
And when you do 120, don't like push down. Just kind of let it walk over it.
Because it's rough.
Well, it'll cut into it. And then when you do 150, you can start pushing a little bit.
Okay.
You'll see what I mean when I get it. I'll get you in there and get you going.
After hot coating the bottom, it was time to sand it down, and there is a lot of sanding. And sanding. And sanding. And sanding.
See how I just blended that? Now we're going to take that line out. Right here. So, see that? All that has to be sanded off all the way through.
Finally, we clean it off, apply some clear coat, and wash it down to the pad in water. And we have a finished surfboard.
I hold my breath the whole time.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing next.
This gets all the little like gritty feeling from the speed spray. Takes it off. Takes all the wheel marks from the sander. It spins in circles.
Thank you.
Good work, Jack.
Gordo.
Yeah, thank you so much. This was so fun.
Yeah. Your first surfboard you ever made, huh?
Yeah,
All the way
thank you.
through?
Now what are you gonna do?
Surf it.
Skate it.
Shred.
Is so fun. It's like fast and powerful, and like you get into waves really easily.